Well, I want to welcome you to this new little program called Friday Faith Stories here at DCC. And it's one way we're trying to connect uh, our people with you with stories about how they're managing this really challenging time and how their faith practices are nurturing a way not only to survive, but hopefully to flourish in the midst of it. And so today I'm talking with Mike Coleman. He's a dear friend. I've known him since before I even came to Davis Community Church 5 years ago. He's served as an elder. He was on the pastor nominating committee. He's in our music groups. And I think you'll enjoy what he has to say. So, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about what may be keeping you sane or spiritually nourished or grounded during this difficult time we're all living through?
Yeah, I think part of my constant challenge in all of this is to not give into this this eagerness we all have to get done with this. I mean, we want to be past this. I want to be done with this. I want to be back in the way things were. And I totally understand that. I feel that a lot, and I also feel like that takes me out of being present and being here, and kind of looking at what this experience is giving us. And part of that is kind of looking at this pandemic we're experiencing, not as something that's, I mean, although it certainly is, but instead of just as something that is causing effects and harms and things happening, it's revealing things. It's revealing stuff that's already been there, whether it's the racism, whether it's our need for connection and community. It's revealing a lot, and that's sort of, it's certainly both on a community level, on a national level, on a world level, but also on a personal level for me. So a lot of it's sort of thinking and trying to be present with what is part of the loss for me, of course, right now, is that I don't have, I really love and am grounded by my communal experiences in worship, in groups of people, in singing together, in music. And not having those means that I need to rely on other ways to find prayerful, sacred spaces to kind of let the distractions go, to kind of be and listen. And so for me, a key practice has been, continues to be, my music. And while the singing and the group music kind of things are really not available to me now, my very personal experience with music is. And the most important piece, part of that kind of expression of that is my piano work with the piano, improvising. I learned jazz piano, classical piano growing up, played all those years, thought at one time about becoming a classical, or not classical necessarily, but a composer, had garage bands and wrote music and everything. And the thing that I retain most preciously is just working with the piano and having, it's a thing that I can be with, that I have enough mastery over, that I can be with this mode of expression, this creative experience, and try to just play and not think critically, which is a really important model for me personally, to let yourself express and not let those negative critical voices hamper what you're doing, but just to kind of be in that mode of creation. So it's a meditative experience. It's a practice of not being distracted, not letting the voice of, oh, you've done that C to a major 7 chord thing before. Just do it and see what comes from it, and try to be in that very personal experience. And part of that is knowing that I'm just creating in the moment. I'm not creating for anybody else except for me and God and what is present. I don't have to perform. I'm not performing. Performing kind of gets in the way of things because it introduces those voices, and it's hard to get away from the consciousness. So to me, that it's not just the meditative aspect. I think part of the value of this, I've thought about, why is this so important and therapeutic for me? It's not just meditating, but it's an interactive meditation. I have to participate in this. I have to listen, but listen gently without and let go without attaching to things. And that's an important practice for my mental state overall in life,
Mm.
of listening in life and not attaching to regrets, not attaching to future worries or fears, trying to be present in the moment, and just be with it and express and hear those things, acknowledge those things that come through, the thoughts, the sounds, whatever I'm playing. Oh, that is a G7 to a major, but not, let that critical voice pass
There are two
and work
things that
through it.
I think about as you're talking about that it seems to me that you're doing. One is you're going back to something that's nurtured you for decades, which is music.
Yeah.
But you're going back to it in a different form because you can't do it communally. You're doing it personally. And
Yeah.
so it's something that's deep inside your bones. And so for all of us, to be grounded means sometimes returning to those things that have really nurtured us over time, but doing it in a new way. You can't sing in the choir or publicly in a group, but you're finding a way to go back to music. And second,
Yeah.
this notion of letting go the judgment and the concern about, did I do it right? What did I just play? Does it sound good? We're all having to
Yeah.
learn how to let go and live with some non-attachment. And so it seems to me that that's a really important practice and a
I
great
think
witness
so.
for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Letting go of judgment. There's a state that I talk about with, that we work on with my youth leadership, Davis Youth, talking about this idea of acknowledging that we have judgments. Judgments are necessary to navigate the world, but you have to hold those lightly and instead try to move from judgment to a place of wonder and awe. So if I can kind of get to that state of flow or wonder, of awe in that meditative space with the music, of just wondering what's happening and loving that moment instead of being in a critical space, judging too much. I mean, judgment's going to happen, but hold them lightly. That's also, I think, a good metaphor for how we listen to a lot of dialogues that are going on in ourselves and in society today. To listen, know that we have judgments, try to hold those lightly, and embrace the fact that we're not perfect, we're going to make mistakes, and those are part of the music of life.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, Mike, I want to thank you. So wonder and awe and recognizing that we're going to make mistakes, but we go ahead and live anyway. And that's part of the
Yeah.
music of life. So I hope that we'll all take that with us, that Mike's testimony will encourage us, ground us, strengthen us, and help us improvise on our own practices, spiritual, physical, emotional, whatever, that can ground us in these difficult times. Mike, God bless you. Thank you for your friendship and your place in our congregation and community. And thanks to all of you for watching. Bye for now.
Thank you too, Chris. Bye.